Ladies and gentlefolk, my name is Frenegades, and welcome back to another video game review. I literally just finished my live stream playing this game. Literally just finished it a couple minutes ago. So while it's fresh in my memory, I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man Miles Morales in the new format, which is not me going over the plot, just me discussing stuff that I like, stuff that I don't like, and if I recommend it to you or whatever. I mean, I will go over this, the basic story and stuff like that, but yeah. Anyways, Spider-Man Miles Morales is a video game that was developed and released by Insomniac in 2020 as a launch title for the PlayStation 5. And just in case, for those folks who have not been able to buy it, it was also released on the PlayStation 4. But if you got the PS5 version, then you were also hooked up with the remastered version of the original Spider-Man. So the version I'm going to be going over is the PS5 version. Now, there's not really much difference aside from just graphical update and the fact that it comes with Spider-Man Remastered. That's quite literally it. But the game is somewhat better than the original game, especially in like gameplay wise, especially with how Miles is going especially with how Miles is adapted into this game. As you can see, Miles has his Venom right here, which is a key part of his extra powers. Another one is invisibility, which is also incorporated into the game. And both abilities in the game are showing Miles pretty much just going through this whole these basically just learning that he has these powers and learning how to use them. That's pretty much it. But anyways, this whole game is takes place during a winter break. Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man, he ends up going on a vacation with Mary Jane up to Symkaria, which is like, I guess, a much smaller Russia for Marvel to cover a war that was going on over there. I think, right? Which was, discussed in the last game with Peter and MJ talking about it. So yeah, Miles knows how to be Spider-Man. He knows how to be Spider-Man on his own at this point. So Peter trusts New York in his hands. So yeah. So obviously dealing with that, Miles comes across a problem. He actually comes across two problems that coincide. On one hand, we have this Sable esque company, specifically just with how the enemies are, called Roxxon. Right? Yeah, Roxxon. They're developing this type of I think like energy fuel called Nuform, but it is very harmful to people. It is causing people to get sick and die. But also the soldiers that work for Nuform are super ruthless. And then on the other hand, we have as their opposition, that being this group called the Underground, this super technologically advanced group of people that are trying to basically rule the crime world, essentially. But the issue with the Roxxon is basically they're trying to destroy the Nuform because it killed the Underground's leader, the Tinkerer. Now, one thing I have to say is I like the character of the Tinkerer. I like the character of Finn, but I don't like what they did specifically with her. Like, it's one thing if they made the Tinkerer, like, I don't know, if they made this girl, basically they named her anything other than Finn Mason, because the original Tinkerer, is an old white man, but then you take it and you make it the opposite as a young black woman, an 18-year-old black woman. It kind of comes off as a little jarring. But I do appreciate that Insomniac felt like, hey, we could do something with this character and incorporate it into Miles. I just kind of don't like how they turned Phineas Mason, an old white man, into a young black woman named Finn Mason. I don't know. Maybe his adoptive daughter or something like that. I don't know. But I just feel like they could have had an original Tinkerer and then have her be the second incarnation or something like that. That's just personally me. Maybe it's me going, I don't know, thinking this is woke or something like that. I don't know. But it does make for a good story because this is a personal close friend of Miles that he's had to deal with. So, New Form killed Finn's brother Rick because he was actually the one who created New Form, but he was trying to shut it down because it was getting people sick. It was getting him sick. It ended up killing him, as I said already. So yeah, the leader of Roxxon, the owner, whatever, CEO, his name is Simon Krieger, and he is just really shady, like one of those really shady Elon Musk type niggas. So yeah, you constantly have to deal with people like that. One thing I like about this game, as I said, is the gameplay. That's probably the best thing about this. And as I said, the story is written really well for something that's super short. But the issue is it's super short. It feels like a DLC expansion. Like throughout my live streams, I want to say it took me about 8 or 9 hours to complete it. Yeah, about 8 or 9 hours, which is kind of funny, but yeah, I completed this game in 4 live streams, and I think 2 of them were only 1 hour. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, this game feels more like a DLC expansion. If I were to compare this game to anything, it feels like the original Spider-Man. Feels like this is Sonic 3 and this is Sonic and Knuckles. This is The Last of Us. This is Left Behind. This is Arkham Knight. This is the DLCs. This is Arkham City, Harley Quinn's Madness, or Arkham Origins, and Cold Heart. You can kind of see what I mean. It feels like a DLC expansion that's just kind of on its own. But there's no issue specifically. Like as I said, if this was a DLC, hey, but it's not a DLC. It is a full-blown standalone game with no DLC. Now, the cosmetics are shorter in number, but they make up for it because they have some really good ones. Now, I won't say Insomniac got lazy, but using the same classic suit like 3 or 4 times, actually like 5 times, because you have the standard classic suit, you have the winter suit where he has the hat and the scarf, he has the Brooklyn Vision suit where he has the coat and the backpack on him, he's got the not the one with the hoodie and the cat in the back, no, I'm talking about the one where he has the headphones around him and he's got the school, suit coat on him. He's got the classic animated suit, and then there's the Uptown Pride suit, which is the classic suit, but the red is swapped out for yellow. So yeah. But this game also introduces the Friendly Neighborhood app, which is used in Spider-Man 2, heavily used in Spider-Man 2, and it is heavily used in this game as well. It's basically an app where people can basically pretty much just call on Spider-Man, and I think it is a good mechanic. It makes good use of, where is it? Here it is. The swiping thing, the touchpad on the PS5 or PS4, whichever one you want to, whichever controller you've been using. So I do think it's a good thing. Miles' powers, as I said, the Venom, he has a bunch of Venom attacks. He has a Venom punch, he has a Venom jump, he has a Venom smash where he punches down on the ground, and he has this Venom explosion where he just lets out all the electricity in his body and just pretty much knocks everybody out. I think this game has a solid amount of not of villains, because I'm gonna be honest also, with this game being so short, there's a heavy cutback on villains. Like the first game, I can name just a couple of villains off the top of my head. Dr. Octavius, Dr. Octopus, Mr. Negative, Rhino, Vulture, Electro, Shocker, give me a second. Not Scorpion. Tombstone. Who else was in this game? Let me think about it. Okay, you do have Kingpin. Okay, I think it says Scorpion was on here. I literally don't remember Scorpion being in this game. But I guess he is in the game, so I guess Scorpion. But this game Miles Morales only has 3 villains. Like 3 classic Spider-Man villains. I don't know if Simon Krieger is one. I really don't know, so I guess we could say 4, but there's just 3 villains. And one of them is reused from the old game. Those being Rhino, the Tinkerer, and the Prowler. And the Prowler is more like a thief for hire, essentially. Obviously, if you watched Into the Spider-Verse, you'll know that the Prowler is Miles' uncle, Aaron Davis. So Spider-Man has a storyline with that, with the Prowler trying to protect Miles from being too much of a hero and getting himself killed, and Miles wanting to save the people, save the city, no matter what, which obviously causes a conflict. So yeah, the Tinkerer, pretty good villain, really good weapons. I can say that. And also with the underground, they have these caches where you can find around the city, and you can steal you can steal their tech and get tech parts, and upgrade whatever you want to upgrade. So yeah, overall, I do think this game is good, but that's the issue. It's good, just good. But then again, I feel like on the other hand as well, I feel like the reason why it's so short is so people can get used to Miles, so people can get used to the PS5, so people can get used to just this idea of there being another Spider-Man. Now, Peter himself is barely in the game. As I said, he went to Symkaria, so he was not active during this game. So you don't get to see two Spider-Men until Spider-Man 2, 3 years later. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is cool. They actually did include the Into the Spider-Verse suit that in here. But yeah, there's no DLC or anything like that to add on and talk about. So I'm gonna leave this review short and sweet, just like the game. The game is good gameplay, great graphics, good storyline, and also good boss fights as well. There's not that many boss fights. I think the only boss fights that you can really have are like between Rhino, just the three villains I named, Rhino, Prowler, and then Finn, the Tinkerer. So yeah, as I said, I'm not gonna go through the whole story and stuff like that. Like, if you want to know the story, play it or watch, my live streams on it. They're up. They're gonna be in the playlist, So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I am at 125 as of August 31st, 2025. Actually, let me check this real quick. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, yeah, I'm at 125. So yeah, rating 7.5 out of 10. There. Yep, 7.5 out of 10. The point five is for the good story. It could be an 8, maybe an 8.5, maybe even a 9 if the story was longer and if there was more to the game itself. Because as I said, it feels like a DLC expansion. That's it. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. Goodbye. And I'll see you later today for me starting on Spider-Man 2. I will start on Spider-Man 2 later today. So yeah. Goodbye.